I went into this book shipping Katniss and Joanna, and I finished this book shipping Katniss, Peeta, and Finnick. Can we get them three together? Because I would like to see it. Hey everyone, it's Nicole and welcome to the vlog. I'm continuing with the Hunger Games series. I'm currently reading Catching Fire. I'm 80 pages in and I'm very invested. Who would have known that I'm going to be invested in a dystopian series when I constantly tell you that I'm not interested in the genre? Anyway, the mood is very different. The characters definitely realize all the consequences of the Hunger Games, and the situation that Katniss is put in is terrifying. She literally has to marry Peeta because otherwise they all would be killed. And that sucks, as she has to sacrifice her happiness. And she doesn't even like Peeta that much, and that is terrible. It's so bad. Anyway, they are on the tour at the moment. I just read a scene at the 11th district. It's heartbreaking and I'm enjoying the series very much. This is like a weird angle, but my hand got tired, so we have to live with that. This week is going to be super busy at work, and I have to organize my father's 70th birthday and order catering and buy his present, which is not going to be easy. I have to research it because it's some gym equipment and I don't know shit about gym equipment. I also am starting my treatment this week. I'm going to wear aligners for 10 months to straighten my teeth, and I wanted to do that for such a long time, and I'm finally doing that because I'm 27 and I'm not planning to wear braces when I'm 30 because that's a bit much for me. You're supposed to wear them 22 hours a day, so you're only taking them off when you're eating, and I'm not sure how I'm going to talk in them because some people say that you start slurring when you're wearing them, so maybe my videos would be even less coherent than they are right now. I'm back. I'm sorry for this angle. I know it's annoying. It's been a while since the last update. I think 2 or 3 weeks. I just had a lot of changes in my life and I didn't feel like filming, or I also didn't have that much time. I'm very busy at work right now. It's one of the busiest seasons, and also stuff just happened. So my mom broke her arm, her right arm, and now I have to care for her, so I have to cook her dinners, I have to cook her breakfast, I have to cook her lunches, I have to set up the table, I have to wash her hair, I have to go to the grocery store. She's a stay-at-home mom, which I guess doesn't make that much sense considering that all of her kids are old enough to care for themselves, but she's like a housewife, I guess, and she's been doing a lot of stuff around the house, and now they had fallen on my shoulders, so I am exhausted. And I also have Invisalign now. I'm not sure if you can see that. This is my second pair of trays. They are not that comfortable as the company is trying to convince you. I'm not even sure that they are worth it. I actually think that they make me lisp a little bit, and they just leave you with this claustrophobic feeling like something is hugging your teeth. I think braces would be nicer actually. I also think that what they're saying about hygiene, how it's easy to not get any issues after wearing Invisalign, is such bullshit because your teeth are covered 20 hours a day. So the bacteria is festering. Of course you wash your teeth and you wash the trays, but still. So definitely do your research. I genuinely think that the only advantage of Invisalign is the fact that they are pretty much invisible. I also have like my baby boy here. He came because he wanted pets, and I also have some trash in my bed. But, like, that's a given. I have not read that much of the book. I think I'm on page 100. I think it is time for the update. I'm currently 185 pages into the book. I glanced at the number and immediately forgot it. Anyway, it is almost at halfway point of the book. It is a very thick boy, and I'm getting a bit exhausted and tired because I don't really like dystopia. It is not my genre, and I'm not that into the plot of them rebelling against President Snow because it is just not the type of plot that I like. So I'm going to confess something. You might even feel like I'm a bad person because I can't wait for them to get to the arena. I said it. I said it. I'm sorry. So we're finally in the arena and I have opinions. It's very interesting how Katniss doesn't really want to be the face of the revolution, but everyone wants to make her one, which is a bit annoying and a bit unfair, but also at the same time I feel like it highlights her character. She knows what's right and she wants to do the right choices, but she also is aware that her choices are going to affect other people. But then also she constantly thinks, well, that's not a thing that I should do, I can afford to do that, and then she does the thing, which is basically her making the puppet of Seneca and hanging it, which is basically her saying shit at the interviews and other stuff that she does behind the curtain while the cameras are not on. I do think that Peter announcing that Katniss is pregnant to the Capitol was a bit of a dirty trick, and I don't think it's fair to Katniss, and she didn't react much to it, which I think is unrealistic, especially considering how much she doesn't want children and how much she doesn't want to get married. I don't understand why it was brushed off so easily. I expected her to be so mad about it. This is literally painting her the way she doesn't want to be painted as. And Peter didn't even consult her about it. So I'm very torn about this, especially because it's her body and she's basically sort of making a decision for her, which I don't appreciate. I also want to mention how romantic and sexual Katniss is written to be. Every person that knows what asexuality and romanticism is would recognize it. I'm not sure if it was ignorant on Susan Collins's part, or she did it on purpose, or she tried to write her hesitance about having kids and being married to someone as the direct opposition to what the Capitol represents. But at the same time, I don't think, if that's the case, that was done the best way possible. Because it's not even tied to marriage and kids, it's tied to something else. I would like to read a paragraph from the book, and after it, I don't think there should be even a discussion about Katniss being asexual or not, because it's so obvious. While we wait for the elevator, John unzips the rest of the tree, letting it drop to the floor, and then kicks it away in disgust. Except for her forest green slipper, she doesn't have on a stitch of clothing. That's better. We end up on the same elevator with her, and she spends the whole ride to the 7th floor chatting to Peter about his paintings, while the light of his still glowing costume reflects off her bare breasts. When she leaves, I ignore him, but I just know he's grinning. I toss aside his hand at the doors close behind Chaff and Cedar, leaving us alone, and he breaks out laughing. What? I say, turning on him as we step out on our floor. It's you, Katniss. Can you see it? He says. What's me? Why they all acting like this? Finnick with his sugar cubes, and Chaff kissing you, and that whole thing with Joanna stripping down. He tries to take on a more serious tone unsuccessfully. They're playing with you because you're so, Coded language. No, I don't know, I say, and I really have no idea what he's talking about. It's like when you wouldn't look at me naked in the arena even though I was half dead. You're so pure, he says finally. Once again, coded language. I'm not, I say. I've been practically ripping your clothes off every time there's been a camera for the last year. A camera. Yeah, but I mean, for the capital, you're pure, he says, clearly trying to mollify me. For me, you're perfect. They're just teasing you. No, they're laughing at me, and so are you, I say. No, Peter shakes his head, but he's still suppressing a smile. I'm seriously thinking the question of who should get out of these games alive when the other elevator opens. I mean, if that's not the most sexual thing you've ever read, plus it's very coded, the words, because because you're so pure, is a very coded sexual language. It's something I believe a lot of people are confronted with when they are starting to realize that they are sexual, so this is very clear. Also, throughout these two books, Peeta and Katniss are very close. They're sleeping in the same bed, but they're not fucking. And what teenager would pass that up knowing that they're literally going to die tomorrow? Suspicious. We can also suggest that Peeta is not her type, but we would also be wrong because there are other men and women around her all the time that she could develop an interest in, and she doesn't. Finnick literally suggests a threesome or a love triangle so they would be popular at the arena. It's subtext, but it's so clear to me, and she doesn't take the bait. I'm on page 325 right now. It's a very rainy day, so I might actually finish it. I finally finished The Catching Fire, and my quick thoughts are, this ending is everything, and I went into this book shipping Katniss and Joanna, and I finished this book shipping Katniss, Peeta, and Finnick. Can we get them three together? Because I would like to see it. This is it for my reading vlog of Catching Fire. I will see you in my other vlog that is going to be all about Mockingjay. In the comments down below, tell me if you ship Finnick, Peeta, and Katniss, because I need more of my people. And until the next vlog.